The information shared on the Allo podcast is not intended as medical advice. Your medical care decisions should be made in consultation with your physician who is familiar with your specific case.
Previously on the Allo podcast.
Welcome to the Allo podcast from the Allo Hope Foundation. I'm Bethany Weathersby.
And I'm Molly Sherwood.
And I'm Kate Luvano.
And I'm Dewayne Luvano.
You know, we never have any guarantees with pregnancy at all, period. But when it comes to HDFN, the right care really does make all of the difference, and that is the case in my story. Realizing, you know, I am still pregnant and there is still a baby in my belly, but she's dead.
Yeah.
And I still don't think I can grasp that concept. And I physically feel like I'm dying. And they pull the ultrasound up and they're like, oh, we didn't get everything.
During this process, did anybody sort of debrief with you about what this means for future pregnancies? And, you know, obviously part of your story is that you're Rh negative. Did anybody tell you that information?
No.
How did you even decide to try again after all of that?
Well, so I wanted to immediately. And so there was a morning where she didn't move the entire morning. And I was like, maybe I need to go to a hospital. And they listen and they have the fetal scope and they cannot find a heartbeat. And immediately it's like flashback to Emerson of like, this is exactly how it felt. No. And I asked him, I was like, so you're saying no heartbeat, like, are we going to go do something? Or is she like dead? And he said, she's dead. And it was like just this moment of like, oh my God, like, we're here again. I asked the doctor, so do we do a C-section? Like, what's the plan? He's like, oh, we'll do induction. And it's like, oh, I still have to give birth. And I think, you know, I kind of mentioned this before. I got very, very, very dark and sad and struggled a lot when Emerson died. And Dewayne said to me, I don't want to watch you go through this again.
Oh, man.
I think I had like this immediate sense of like excitement. And then like immediately followed by like just the reality, you know, like I was like, so, and I don't know, I feel like the best way I can describe it to people is like, it's just like the best, worst moment of your life, you know?
Right.
And now, part 2.
Leaving the preconception appointment, what was sort of the treatment plan going forward for the pregnancy?
Yeah, so as soon as I would get a positive pregnancy test, our plan was going to be that I would reach out to Dr. Trevett and let him know that I was pregnant and get a dating ultrasound scheduled with my OB kind of as early as we could. The reason for that being that if we had an accurate dating ultrasound, then that would help us be able to better plan all of our treatments, which hinge so specifically on what the gestation of the baby is. So we knew that since my titer was extremely high at my preconception appointment, my anti-D titer was 512. And we knew that because Dewayne was homozygous for our antigens, that we would have 100% chance of all of our future children will for sure inherit the blood type that my body attacks. And so because of that, we knew, okay, so we're going to have to do pretty aggressive preventative measures here. And so our plan was to do, let me say that again. So our gotta fix the hair. Yeah. So our plan would be that once towards the end of the first trimester, I would do plasmapheresis. I would have the surgery to put the central line in, the permacath, which would then give access to be able to do plasmapheresis, which removes all of my plasma and replaces donor plasma. And all of these are therapies that we're talking about are broken down in detail back in season 1, so you can go listen to that.
Thank you for that shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Free advertising.
there we go. Happy to do it. Myths and management of severe disease. That's the one. I know them like the back of my hand because I listened to these like in detail. Like many times before my first appointment with Dr. Trevett, so I kind of knew our plan going in, and then he confirmed our plan.
I love that.
So,
can I just say I love that about you? I know so many moms do that right now that that's available. It's just,
well, it's an amazing resource. All of what the AlloHope Foundation has done is an amazing resource, because then I felt so equipped at every step of the way. Dr. Trevett would reaffirm everything I knew, which then kind of instilled some confidence of like, okay, we're on the right path. This is lining up with what I've heard here. This information, it's all tracking. So I felt pretty good about our plan. I knew this is going to be a lot, because our plan would then be to follow up that plasmapheresis with weekly IVIG. And I knew that would be a lot. I didn't know exactly how my body was going to respond to IVIG, obviously, but I knew from hearing other stories, especially Bethany and some of the other moms in the support group, and there's an IVIG Facebook support group that I had joined. I knew it was going to be a lot. And I was prepared for that.
Can I ask a question, going back just a bit? When did you find out that Dewayne was homozygous? Was that well before that appointment?
So we did our blood test. We went in like 2 or 3 weeks before our preconception appointment, because I reached out to Dr. Trevett and said, can we do our blood work beforehand so we have all the information before our session?
Yeah,
that's a great
Because I didn't want to go into an appointment with half the information and have to go get blood tests, come back.
Yeah, that's
that
so
I was
smart.
like, let's just streamline this. Let's do this ahead of time. So we got that back a couple weeks beforehand.
That's a great tip. That's
That is such a good tip. How did you guys feel, both of you, when you found out that he was homozygous? It feels like such a big blow.
It was. Well, it was and it wasn't. I had a little bit of peace of we just know now. Like we know for sure what we're getting into, and there's not this question mark and kind of waiting game, because if we didn't know, there's a possibility then that we're starting all these invasive surgeries and treatments before, and then maybe the baby's negative, which it's still good to do the prevention if it's needed, but it just kind of gave me a little bit of like it took the question mark out of it. Like it wasn't necessarily the answer I wanted, but at least there's no more questioning. We just know for sure moving forward, this is what we're working with.
Right. Less uncertainty moving forward.
I just thought of one other thing I wanted to comment on that you said that we haven't talked about yet, I don't think, in the podcast, which is the benefit of having a dating ultrasound when you can. Because sometimes, when we measure the MCA Doppler value, that MOM is calculated based on gestational age, and sometimes moms struggle if they don't know exactly what the baby's correct estimated due date is. We never talk about that. Anyway, so that's a nice bonus if you can lean on that. Go ahead, Kate.
Yeah, so we left our appointment, and I had kind of written out a plan that I took to Dr. Trevett. It was like, is this the plan that we're going to follow? As much as there's a lot that you can't plan for exactly, but there's a lot we could. We're going to do plasmapheresis. We're going to do IVIG. We're going to start weekly MCA scans at 15 weeks and do them every single week. And we knew that if my MOMs started going up, before viability was kind of the timeline we had. If it started creeping up really early still in gestation, then we would repeat plasmapheresis, and which Bethany, you had done that. So I had a little bit of a framework of what that might look like. And then I knew if we were to do IUTs, we had our plan for that. I asked all the questions and got everything, kind of tried to wrap my head around it as much as I could. And we knew, we do the weekly NSTs starting at 32 weeks. We're going to try to get between 37, 38 weeks to deliver. And we're hoping to be able to do vaginal induction. We're hoping to avoid NICU time, but we're prepared that might be part of it. And we know the follow-up blood tests that we're going to have to do. So it was like, okay, we have this. I think I can wrap my head around this as good as I can, right? And be as prepared for something that's so daunting as I think I could be. It's kind of like, I think I'm prepared, but like, I'm never going to be prepared. You're never going to be prepared for pregnancy after loss.
Right.
You're never going to be prepared going into a pregnancy that's going to require surgeries.
Right.
And early delivery and possible, like you can't be prepared for that.
Right.
But I had all the information and a plan.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think this is as prepared as I think it's going to get.
Yeah.
It
is, I think also, at least for me, before I had a living baby with HDFN, I had this kind of underlying sense of like, I know that this has worked for other people, but I really have no idea if this is going to work for me. I really don't.
We definitely felt like that.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't even know if this is possible.
Right.
I mean, you were confident it was possible for us. Dr. Trevett was confident it was possible for us, but we knew there's no guarantees.
Yeah.
And that we could do all of this and not have a living baby at the end of it. And it was a big feeling leaving that appointment of, now what? Because we had all of this build up to the appointment and all these questions and all that. We're going to get our plan set. And then now we have it, and now it's like, now what? Like,
Yeah.
It's like jumping off a cliff.
now we
Then
just
making that
do
conscious
this? Like, we just,
decision. Yeah.
like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Did you feel a little bit more secure leaving that appointment after talking everything through with Dr. Trevett? Or not really?
I think I just felt scared.
Yeah.
Because
now you had to
I
do
didn't. Well, so the other thing is I had a couple remaining questions about what happened with Josie.
Oh, right.
And so is all this build
Yeah.
up to this appointment to where it's like, now I have all the answers I probably ever will get about this. I have all of the information I'm going to get about our plan forward, which I already kind of knew our plan forward. It was more confirming that plan. So we really didn't leave with a ton of new information other than like, now whenever I get pregnant, that's our plan.
Yeah.
So I just felt scared because I was hoping for all this closure,
Right.
which we did get some. It just wasn't, I think it was more anticlimactic than I expected it to be. I think there's all this build up to it, and it was like, okay, now we did that.
I mean, you
Rather
had
than-
to prepare a lot, though. Think about the amount of preparation you did leading up to that. That's a lot. And then it almost feels like nothing really comes of it yet.
Yeah, well, it felt like this is such a good place to put my energy.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Yes.
an area I can control. I can put, like, there's so much out of my control right now. And so much that, like, I don't care about anything.
Right.
Except my family.
Yeah.
And I'm grieving Josie and Emerson and potentially all of our future children and trying to get our plan for kind of what felt like the last hope of, you know, we want a family with living children. And so, yeah, it felt like this is a good area to put all of my energy into, like, doing my part in what can help us get to a living child. But then it felt like, okay, now there's nothing left to do except get pregnant. But that's the scary part.
I know,
So there's nothing left that I can put all this energy into.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Dwayne, how did you feel about that?
The
yeah,
the
about all
appointment
that.
specifically.
Yeah, and then just afterwards, leaving and then taking the big leap. Like,
I mean, I feel like, yeah, it was a little bit weird because I feel like we just, like, it just felt like, okay, now we just kind of know what Kate had already researched and learned, and then shared with me. So it just kind of confirmed that. And I don't know. I think for me, the thing that was helpful was just knowing that, okay, this is what it's going to look like moving forward. And like Kate talked about, like there is a little bit of weird to say, but like some security in just knowing like what, like we kind of can somewhat prepare of what to expect. Like we just knew it was going to be a lot going into it. And I don't remember for some reason off the top of my head, but like I definitely wasn't leaving like, okay, yeah, like I'm ready to go through this whole process, you know, like
Right. Yeah.
I don't remember how much longer it was after, but it did take me some time to like really figure out like, is this what we want to do? Is this kind of the risk we want to take, you know? Because like we talked about, like I just totally had the feeling, the lingering feeling that like we could do all of this and it could still end up the same.
I think we left and I was all in, like, I'm 100% we're going to do this. I don't know when, but I know at some point this is what I want to do. And I think Dwayne was still getting there. Like you're still processing all the information, trying to wrap your head around all of it.
Yeah.
But we also knew that we had explored what are the other options for growing our family. And for us, nothing else really spoke to us being an option we wanted to pursue. So it kind of felt like, well, it's this or nothing, even though we have other options, but to us that this just felt like the most in line with what felt right to us, but it just was a lot to wrap our heads around. So after the first day of IVIG, after I had that reaction, we went home. I slept. I was exhausted, and went back the next day for the second loading dose of IVIG. And I was really scared that, you know, I really wanted it to work. I didn't want to have another reaction. I had to really fight with the doctor to even be able to continue IVIG. They initially wanted to postpone it.
Yeah.
It was Sunday, and I didn't even want to wait till Monday. I was like, I want to do this right now. So I was really nervous going in. Like, I really hope this goes well. I don't want to have another reaction because that was not fun. They would slowly increase the rate. Like they start at a really slow rate, and then every 15 minutes they increase it a little quicker. And they went past the point that they went the day before, because I remember telling the lady, the nurse, I was like, I don't want to go past, it was like 100 milliliters per hour was my comfort zone. I was like, I don't want to go past that, because I'd seen in some of the other support groups like that people had issues if it was infused too quickly. So I told them I don't want to go over that. And she said, well, this is what your hematologist has written in your chart, is it's this, and you're not having any symptoms, and so we're just going to keep going. And they kept increasing it, and I didn't push back because I felt fine. Actually, once we got going, I really felt fine. And so I was like, you know, I don't know, I don't want to be a bother. Like, I asked and I talked it out with her, and I didn't really have a good reason other than I didn't want something to happen that hadn't happened. I don't know. So I didn't push too hard, because I did feel okay, and I was drinking a bunch of water, and they did fluids, so I felt okay. And we went home, and I felt okay. I was pretty tired. I was drained. I went and took a nap when we got home, and I woke up and had like a debilitating migraine. It was so bad. And I think I took some ibuprofen or something, and it did nothing. I mean, it got so bad. I was in a dark room. All the lights were off. I had ice on my face. I had like one of those ice packs that kind of go on your head. And it was just debilitating. I was in so much pain. And at this point it was evening. It was late in the evening. And I think I was asking Dwayne to help me get to the bathroom. And because also, mind you, I still have the permacath in.
Yes.
Which is also extremely painful in itself.
Yeah.
So that also was hurting because I couldn't sit up on my own. Dwayne had to like lift me
Yes.
up. So I had him try to get me to the bathroom to go to the bathroom, and I couldn't stand.
yeah.
I couldn't walk. It was like, we need to go to the hospital. Like, I'm not okay. I can't. I mean, Dwayne probably remembers it better than I do. All I know is I couldn't see anything, and my head felt like it was going to explode. It was on fire. My brain was on fire, is how it felt.
Yeah.
So
A lot of women get that like extreme migraine after that double loading dose, especially if it's run fast, which they tend to do in the infusion centers just kind of naturally. Although with all three of mine, I had it with all three, even when I told them to slow it down. So I don't know if that helps. It's just such I think it's your body's just, you had the plasmapheresis and then you get this double high dose. Even one dose, it's very high. 1 gram per kilogram of weight is very high for IVIG. And then to get hit with 2, it's so much. So you got the migraine the next day?
it was after the second dose that night.
Oh, that night. Okay. 'Cause
That night,
mine
after
would
the
hit
second dose.
like the third day sometimes. Because like you said, you feel fine. And then suddenly you're not fine at all.
You're not fine.
So did they help? Were they able to help with the symptoms?
Well, so Dwayne carried me to the car, put me in the car, drove us to the hospital, carried me into the hospital, and I don't remember a lot because I couldn't open my eyes.
I'm just
I was
imagining
at the
those
hospital
bright
like
lights. What a nightmare.
And oh my gosh, I know I couldn't.
I feel like I'm
I
getting
didn't
a
open my
headache just
eyes
thinking
the
about it.
entire time I was there. I think there was one point I opened my eyes to like kind of look at the doctor, but I didn't open my eyes one time I was there at the hospital. I had them closed the entire time. They gave me, fluids and some medication to try to alleviate the migraine. If I went in with like a level 11 out of 10, I came out with like a level 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Like, it was still really, really severe.
Yes.
It was like I might not die anymore from the pain because that's how it felt at the beginning.
Yeah.
It felt like I'm going home and like I might not die, but I'm in severe pain. And it took, I don't know, maybe a day or two for that to kind of go away and get better.
Here's a weird question. Could you feel your heartbeat in your eyes?
I think in my ears maybe.
Oh. That's not
I don't
any
know
better.
about my
That's
eyes.
terrible.
But the like
I could see it. Like, I'm so
I don't know.
sorry.
I had my eyes closed. I never opened my eyes.
Oh, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that.
Well, and it's funny because I knew that
Yeah.
this happened to people and I heard of it. So it was kind of like I was prepared. And so there was some level that I
Yeah.
knew, even as it was happening, it was like, this is part of it. Doesn't make it feel better, but it makes it, I think, a little less scary because it didn't feel random. It felt
Sure.
a little expected.
Yeah.
But also really annoying because I thought maybe it wouldn't happen to me, and then it did.
Yeah.
So after that, though, two things happened. One, I went a couple days later and finally got that permacath out, which was amazing. Very, very easy, especially compared to putting it in.
Right.
They just cut the stitches and pulled it out.
Yeah,
It was
it's
very
pretty
easy.
wild because it's in your jugular.
I asked them if I could keep it, and he looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, "You want to keep this?" No.
Did you take a photo? Did you take a picture of it?
I have a picture.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
took
feel
a
like
picture
I've
of
seen it, and it was horrible. It was like
It's very
I can't even-
intimidating. It's a
it would be R-rated in a movie. Like that alone would make it R-rated. It's so gross.
Yeah, it is very gross, and it
Yeah.
was covered in blood, so it was gross. I know it was a weird thing for me to ask, but I was.
I love it.
like, I need a souvenir.
That's so
this
good.
terrible time.
In case I don't remember everything, I
To
just
put in the
traumatically
baby book,
experienced.
like these are our milestones.
Hang it on my wall. So that was the first thing that made things better. Was that was
good.
gone.
Okay.
Yes.
The second was that we split so we went from a loading dose, which is kind of 2 full doses back to back. And we, instead of doing just 1 full dose, as is standard, so typically you follow plasmapheresis with a loading dose, which is 2 full doses. Then you resume weekly doing 1 full dose. So instead of doing a full dose, what we did was split my full dose into 2 days. So we had a half a dose followed by a half a dose.
Was that your idea?
And-
Who had that idea?
I think Dr. Trevett had that idea.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't think that was mine. I knew my plan was that I was going to tell the nurses we are not going
Right.
above
You're like,
Yeah.
I have
100.
this-
Like
yeah.
we're not passing that.
Oh my goodness.
But it was so much easier talking to them after I had this big reaction, because now I had this big reaction and there was a
Right.
reason I was asking for it.
Oh,
So they
man.
listened,
Yeah.
which is really, I think, this is a reoccurring theme. I think
Yes.
people see a lot just in
Yeah.
healthcare in general is, it's very frustrating to have to wait for the thing to happen before
Right.
getting better care.
Right.
But some of that was, I wasn't too mad about it because I didn't push too hard, and I kind of kicked myself for not pushing harder. But I don't like confrontation by nature. So
Oh. But you also felt
I-
okay, and
Right.
that's confusing.
it is,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but I knew
Yeah.
now, like, we are not going faster. And I, again, really hydrated the days before and just rested. And
So
I still had migraines.
Mm-hmm.
For the next several weeks that
Yeah.
we did IVIG, we split it into 2 doses, which definitely helped. I still had migraines,
Yeah.
and they progressively got better. Each week it slowly got better. Where towards the end of IVIG, I actually felt like, okay, like I didn't really have migraines too much. I had
Yeah.
really bad fatigue. That was my other symptom.
Yes.
Is I couldn't even stand up and go to the bathroom without being out of breath.
Right.
It's like I'm gonna pass out.
Yeah.
And so I
Isn't
feel like
that
I just
weird?
ran a marathon, and all I did
Yeah.
was took 3 steps, which was very frustrating. Especially, I'm a pretty active person.
Yeah.
Especially in my pregnancy with Josie, I was super active and I felt great. I physically felt so good, and I walked all the time. I did yoga all the time. I was strong. And it was just a very different experience with this pregnancy. I am very weak, and
Yeah.
I'm basically bed rest and
Right.
I'm sedentary, which is just kind of counterintuitive for me.
Yeah.
To just sit
Yeah.
all day, every day, and not do anything and be out of breath over a simple task.
Right.
So that was frustrating.
I remember.
But it also kind of felt like this isn't my biggest issue right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I remember telling Josh over and over again, I feel like I'm in someone else's body. I am in someone else's body, because it was all these things that, like, just not a thing that I experienced really.
Yeah.
So very disorienting, kind of.
It is, yeah.
So how long were you doing IVIG then after that before you started MCA Doppler scans?
So we started IVIG at, I think it was in the middle of the 11th week is when we did plasmapheresis, and then followed by IVIG. So it was a couple weeks of just IVIG, and then we started our first MCA scan at 15 weeks. And, it's always interesting passing. So Emerson died at 14 weeks. So passing that milestone was there's a lot of anxiety going into that appointment. I mean, every appointment there was a lot of anxiety, but especially kind of around that milestone. And when you can't feel the baby moving yet, it was just like, is this going to be it? I think 1.12 was our first MCA scan. And
Yeah,
even though
so
like
good.
1.2 felt like, oh my gosh, it's already so high, which it's not. That's a pretty
Yeah.
good MCA or MOM.
Yeah.
Which, for reference too, for anybody who's not familiar, the MCA scan measures the blood flow in the baby's brain, and it's used to calculate what's called the multiples of the median, which, again, there's other podcast episodes that deep dive this, but you want that number to be 1. That's the number you want. 1 is the good number. 1.5 means baby needs a transfusion. And so for us to have 1.12, it was still very low. That's a good number. But the fact that it wasn't 1 felt
Oh,
nerve-wracking
really?
to me. Yeah. Yeah, it felt nerve-wracking to me. Like, we're already working our way up.
Right. I'm sure your mind was starting to calculate, like, I'm this gestation and it went from this to this, and then you're just starting to...
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
man.
especially because we didn't know how quickly my antibodies would affect the baby, because we
Yeah,
knew
that was
that they were, my titer was now 1024, but we didn't know at what point I got sensitized with Josie. So we didn't know if it took the entire pregnancy to affect her so severely, or if it took 2 weeks. We didn't really know.
Right.
So we didn't know if we were going to need an IUT at 15 weeks or if we were going to make it to delivery without one. Just kind of, there's a lot of unknowns with that. So every week we were kind of holding our breath. And we did slowly see the MOM start to climb up to, 1.2, 1.3. And I was 18 weeks when our MOM was in the 1.3s range. And we decided to do a second round of plasmapheresis with the hopes of kind of removing more of the antibodies and getting us a little bit further closer to viability before needing a transfusion. So it was a pretty proactive approach, but with that intention that we can get the baby a little bit bigger where there's less complications before these IUTs begin.
Yeah.
So I was not thrilled about doing more plasmapheresis, especially now that I knew what it meant. Like the first time it was like, I've heard it's bad.
Yeah.
Now I knew how much it sucked.
Was it the plasmapheresis or the permacath?
It was the permacath.
Okay.
The plasmapheresis was fine.
Yeah.
Oh, and something else I didn't say. So I had my veins look really great, but they roll away. So I kept getting poked and poked and poked every time because I had, all the blood draws and then the IVIG and splitting IVIG up over 2 days. I was constantly getting poked and my veins were shot. So I ended up getting a port placed too. I think that was around 15 weeks I had a port placed. So that was my second surgery, having the port placed. And that surgery was actually pretty uneventful.
So these were two separate. So you had the port and then another one for the second permacath?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't put the
terrible.
port. We had discussed putting the port in with the permacath in the first surgery.
Yeah.
But we didn't know if I would actually need a port.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to unnecessarily place a foreign device in my body if I didn't need it.
Yeah.
So we waited. And then it turned out like I couldn't, like my, like getting infusions, IVIG, the needle wasn't staying in the vein. It kept falling out. It was just becoming very complicated. So we decided to go ahead and do the port. And then that was around 15 weeks. We didn't know I was going to need plasmapheresis again yet. Then when we got plasmapheresis again, that was surgery number 3. And it's kind of mind-boggling. Like here I am. I'm not even halfway through a pregnancy and I've already had 3 surgeries and all of this intervention. Been in the ER probably 4 or 5 times.
Goodness.
And it was pretty mind-boggling. Like we're only halfway.
Yeah.
Like, how much more?
And the baby's not even anemic yet, really.
And
Yeah.
Were there any, like, I guess the word is kind of affirmations or just sort of thoughts or encouragements that you said to yourself, or Dewayne that you said to Kate, like, during this time to just keep persevering, that you feel like just kept cycling?
Well, so I a little bit just felt like I was in survival mode. Like, we're just going to keep trucking through. Like, there's not time to freak out. I'm too busy. So we're just going to keep trucking through. But something that did really help was when I got my pregnancy test and I told Bethany, she was the first person besides Dewayne that I told. She said, I'll hold on to hope for you. And that really helped me, knowing like, I don't know if we could do this, but I know you really do believe it. And that really helped me. And then also, do not grieve what's not yet lost. That was something I think your mom told you, right, Bethany?
Yeah.
And I think you shared it in a podcast or somewhere. But I heard that somewhere and I loved it. And so that was kind of my biggest affirmation, I guess, was don't grieve what's not yet lost. Because, protection, like my internal protection wants to prepare for, like, what if this baby dies too?
Right.
But I didn't want to go there before it happened. And I learned that with Josie, it was a risk to love Josie and fully embrace Josie before knowing what was going to happen. And being able to give her all of my love and be all in, it really did make a difference. And I'm so glad that I did get that time and I didn't check out with my pregnancy with her. Because that was the only time I got with her. So I kind of had that in the back of my head too. It's like, this might be all we get with him.
Right.
And so I want to enjoy it even if this is all we get. which might sound kind of dark and morbid to somebody who hasn't maybe
I felt
been
the
through
same.
pregnancy loss, but that was very comforting. It's like, this might be
Yeah.
all we get, and so I'm going to be all in
Right.
for however long this is.
Yeah, I'm gonna mother this baby now because he's here, and I did the same with Nora. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy her some little things that she can wear whatever gestation she's born, you know, and things like that.
Yeah, I bought a onesie.
Yeah.
That was like, this is his. It said handpicked from for Earth for my sisters
yeah.
in heaven. And I had a thought when I bought it, like, maybe he'll wear this for a funeral.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
But you know, it'll be his, and
Exactly.
and it's for him, and
Yeah.
he has his own story.
Yeah.
And so I think with everything, there's kind of that dichotomy of I'm holding on to hope, and
Yeah.
I'm also accepting that I'm not in control, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Dwayne, how did you support Kate through all of those procedures, and then how were you feeling about the baby too at that point?
I mean, how did I support? I don't really know. I mean, I feel like I just tried to be like there and just present too, you know?
I mean, you carried her into the ER.
Yeah.
Those kind of things are really helpful.
And it was, you know, there definitely was like a lot more things that I was doing that normally she would do, you know? But I will say, because we kind of knew a little bit of what we were expecting, like, you know, Kate is like the prepare person. So we had like frozen meals and all this stuff like
goodness.
prepared, which just
Amazing.
definitely did help a lot, you know, because like I can cook, but by no means am I, you know, one to cook
Yeah, she's
every
suffering
day.
enough. I mean,
So, you know, like just things like that definitely helped a lot, you know, like, and then, so I guess for me, like that's kind of just all I had in my mind, you know, like in terms of like, how can I be supportive?
Right.
And then I guess like I don't remember like one specific phrase by any means, but I, you know, and this is like easy for me to say, but like I liked Kate's perspective of like, I can suffer now for Noah, you know, like I can kind of take all that pain and suffering away by going through what I'm going through. Like I said, I mean, easy for me to say, like, you know, on my end, but I like that perspective. And then, and at least and not that I disliked it, but like, you know, to see her like accept that or kind of own that, you know, I think just help me not, I guess it just helped me like be willing to kind of be more present, you know, whether it was with her or at the appointments, you know, or whatever, you know, because I definitely didn't want to have to, like, I would, you know, rather check out, you know. And then too, like I like the perspective of like, even though we're going through all this, like no matter what the outcome is, like I don't want to feel like there was anything left on the table, you know, like like I don't want there to be a time where it was like, man, I wish we would have just done this instead. Like maybe things would, because we had that with Josie, you know, we had all the questions or the times where it was like, man, what if we would have done this different? What if we would have done that different? And so as like trivial, I guess, like as everything was, and all the ER visits and all the appointments and going here and there and whatever, like it didn't feel like a drag, I guess, for lack of better words, because it was like I kind of knew like, okay, like we're kind of, you know, exhausting all options, you know, regardless of the outcome, like we'll know that like we kind of did everything and anything that we possibly could have. So, you know, I think those two things always said, and then just kind of, you know, there was a saying that my dad always said as a kid that was like that my great grandfather and then my grandfather always said, but they just said like kind of like nothing to it but to do it, you know. And so like that was kind of like just the approach that I had of like, I mean, what else are we gonna do? Like, you know, are we not gonna do this, or, you know, like moping around or being bummed or upset about it's not gonna really change the the reality that like we have an appointment at 4:00 or another surgery, or
Yeah.
you know, we're going to the ER at 11 p.m. or whatever, you know, like it was just kind of made it easier to just show
Yeah.
up and kind of do the next thing.
I was just going to say, in my family, we say no way out but through, and it's sort of the same concept. Yeah.
So we did the second round of plasmapheresis, and that surgery is very similar to the first. It felt like every time something happened. And so this time what happened was, as I'm in pre-op getting ready to go back, really nervous because my first surgery was very traumatizing with the it just was traumatizing, right? The first time getting that the permacath placed. We're in pre-op and Dewayne is there, and we're sitting there waiting for maternity L&D to send somebody over to do a Doppler before we do the surgery. And the door opens and I immediately recognize the nurse, and it's the nurse who was there when Josie was delivered. She was the one in the room. Like, she was such a big part of our time with Josie.
Wow.
And which was she was a good person to see. It was all good memories, but really hard memories too. But yeah, she walks in and I immediately recognize her, and she doesn't recognize us. But I just said, oh my gosh, like, you delivered my daughter. And I think she knew that I was pregnant with a boy, so she was like, oh, a boy and a girl. And I was like, yeah, she died. And she was like, I remember you. She was like, we talk about you guys all the time. She's like, I didn't put two and two together. And she's like, I thought Dewayne looked familiar. And so anyways, we had a moment and we cried and she hugged us, and it was very sweet. It was very emotional. It really caught me off guard. I was not prepared for that. So, and that's kind of how grief is anyways, is it kind of catches you in the moments you aren't totally prepared for. Because I was prepared for, you know, when we had our first permacath surgery, we had to go into surgery without being able to find a heartbeat. I knew that probably wasn't going to happen, but I just know being back in that situation is kind of going to be a little unnerving. So I was prepared for some of that, but I wasn't prepared to see our nurse who delivered Josie. But it was bittersweet, and I was able, you know, to kind of thank her again. And so it was good. It was just really, really emotional. And then it was like, okay, now we're going back for surgery and this other really scary thing. So, but that time it went a lot better because I kind of knew what to expect for the surgery. And I was a little further along, so they were a little more comfortable giving me some medication to kind of help with just pain and nerves. So
that was 18 weeks? 18 weeks? Okay.
That was 18 weeks. And then I did it all again. So I did the plasmapheresis again, the 3 rounds of that, followed by the loading dose. I was a little nervous with the loading dose of IVIG because my body had adjusted where I was having less symptoms with IVIG, but I didn't know having such a big dose. I did fine. It was okay. I was a little tired and I think I had a headache, but it wasn't debilitating. Like, I just kind of slept it off at home.
So did your MCA scans drop after that?
So it was wild. So we went on, I forget the days, but we went on whatever day, it was like 1.3 something. Made the decision, let's do plasmapheresis. We did 1 or 2 rounds of plasmapheresis. We came back and it was like 1.0. Like, we didn't even finish the 3rd round of plasmapheresis and it was already dropped. So that was reassuring. Like, okay, this is working. It is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Which is great because I don't want to be doing this for no reason. So I'm glad that it's working. But we did see that drop. And so we just continued with the IVIG then. So then it was, I mean, it's funny because it felt like, wow, there's just not a lot going on. Even though I had my MCA scan every week. I had my IVIG every week. I had monthly appointments with my OB. I had monthly appointments with the hematologist. It was like, we had a lot going. It was still at the hospital, like probably 20 to 30 hours a week, but it felt like not that much in comparison.
Comparatively.
And then, we just kind of kept going. We decided to buy a house in the middle of this, which was kind of crazy.
You sure did.
We sure did. And so, and I think it was that week then after we closed, I went in, we had like a 1.1 MCA scan, MOM, I think. And that was on Monday. I had my IVIG on Friday, and during IVIG was like, I kind of feel like maybe he's moving a little less. I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it because he's meeting his kick counts. Like, maybe it's fine. And I went to bed, and I woke up in the morning, and I was like, we had our plan to go up to the new house and kind of get it kind of ready to start moving. So we had all these plans that also we felt like we were on this time crunch of like, well, we have to get the house ready and move before we have a baby. Because I was 26 weeks at this point. So I woke up in the morning, and I did like kick counts like probably 4 times, like maybe 5. I don't know. I kept doing kick counts over and over because he kept hitting the like, you're supposed to have 10 kicks and however long. He would get them, within 20 minutes or so, not even that long. Whereas if you're just objectively looking at that, it seemed totally normal. Like, it took him 20 minutes to hit 10 kick counts. Like, great, awesome, yeah. He's killing it.
Yeah.
But I just felt like, no, this is less than his normal.
Right.
And even though with our history, and I am always one to say, like, go in, don't question it, don't wait, just go in, go get checked out. Like, better safe than sorry.
Right.
Like, I would never regret going in, but I would regret not going in.
Yeah.
And I do. And even with that, I felt like I needed somebody else to tell me to go in. Because I was like, am I just being crazy? Am I scared? Am I like, I'm looking at the kick count. He is hitting his kick count over and over and over. And it's a Saturday, so that's really inconvenient. We have a lot to do. We have to move our house. That's inconvenient. And I just couldn't shake it. And I said something to you, Bethany, and kind of we Marco Polo'd back and forth a little bit. And I finally was like, I'm going to say something to Dr. Trevett and get his thoughts, even though I know once I say it to him, he's just going to tell me to go in anyways.
Yeah.
But I kind of needed that.
Yeah.
I needed somebody to just be like, just go in.
Yeah.
Like, right now, go in. And that's what he did. He was like, just, why don't you go in? And it was a weekend, of course.
Yep.
Why is it always on the weekend? It's
Always.
always on the weekend.
I don't know.
It's always on the weekend or holiday.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
gosh.
I go in, and I get seen first by the sonographer, and I recognize the sonographer. Everybody's kind of different. There's different levels of experience within any field, right? And the sonographer, some are really great and some are still learning, and she was really great. We really liked her. But I still kind of like, I'm just waiting to hear from the MFM. I'm waiting to hear from the MFM. And I'm looking at the, PSV, doing the calculation in my head of what's the MOM going to be? And it was looking okay. And so I was like, I think it's fine. I don't know, but I'm just nervous, and this feels scary. This feels reminiscent.
Right.
And the MFM comes in, and first she does the MCA scan, and she's not taking the highest read. She's not getting consistent reads across the screen. Yeah, this is just whoever was on call.
Right.
And yeah, she wasn't getting consistent reads across the screen. She wasn't taking the highest one. And I was kind of trying to politely say, like,
so awkward.
Do you want to take the highest one? Like, you want to, normally this is what we do. And try, this is really awkward.
So hard.
But also, like, this might be life and death. And so please do your job right. And it just felt very uncomfortable. And she was like, he was breathing in that millisecond or what, something that was like, this doesn't make sense, but whatever.
Yeah.
The MOM was fine. It was like 1.3.
Yeah.
Which was good. But then she said, but the baby has ascites. And I immediately, like, I just kind of broke at that, because I knew in my head, I'm like doing all these like mental calculations, and I'm like, okay, so they, like, baby has ascites, like, I know the risks of an IET go up if the baby is already developing ascites or high drops, but how could this happen? Because he just had a 1.1 on Monday, and now, but it's also saying 1.3, so that doesn't make sense. And then she's talking about, like, so we're going to admit you, and and then the whole time I'm like, where's Dr. Trevett? Like, I just want Dr. Trevett. And I was texting him too. And kind of, we were in touch, but it wasn't like he wasn't the one right there doing this. And I think I was talking to you guys as well on Marco Polo, kind of letting you know every step of the way kind of what was happening, which did help, because as much preparing as we had done, all these things, like, in the moment, like, you just don't fully think straight.
Sure.
And one of you guys, I forget who, said, don't forget, like, wait for the plan like a follow-up MCA scan or a decision to do IUT or not, like you got to wait for that before they give you steroids, because they were talking about giving me steroids.
Yeah.
But that can falsely lower that MOM.
Yes.
And which I knew that, but I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
And so you guys saying that was a good reminder of like, oh yeah, let's just slow down. Like, let's not do anything yet.
Right.
Let's wait for Dr. Trevett, who is my doctor, who's been overseeing my care, is familiar with me, my baby, and all of this. Like, let's just wait to talk to him. And he, of course, was all over it. It was just that kind of little interim period with the unfamiliar staff. And so we were kind of in this, what do we do? Because even though the MOM is normal, he has ascites and is kind of moving less. And so this just doesn't add up. This isn't like following the expected path.
Yeah.
And so I felt really like there were a lot of conflicting emotions. Like I felt very like relieved that I listened to my gut.
Yeah.
Like that was like weirdly validating. Like I'm not just crazy. Like I actually was right. And also, oh my gosh, I was right and something's wrong.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And I've done all this preparing, but this isn't following the plan.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't what we planned. Like, this is not expected trajectory that we're following. So it was just a lot. We ultimately made the decision that, you know, we knew I have an extremely high titer. We had done all, you know, plasmapheresis and IVIG, that we knew it was likely a matter of time that we would need an IUT. So we made the decision that we would do a cortocentesis, or some people call it a PUBS, which is where you just go in and check the blood, the actual blood count, because you can't get an actual blood count from the MCA scan, but by going into the umbilical cord and getting a sample, you can get the actual blood count of how anemic the baby is. And then we can make a decision if we need to transfuse from there or not.
And how many weeks were you at that point?
I was 26 weeks.
Okay.
So I felt a little bit like I was glad we made it to viability. The ascites really made me nervous. Just I knew that complication just went up, and I had a posterior placenta. So I knew that, you know, if you have an anterior placenta, they can just put the needle right in the placenta, right at the front of your belly. But if your placenta is at the back, then they can't do that, and they have to find just floating umbilical cord. Sometimes doctors will put blood in the cord and in the belly, or one or the other. If the cord's not available, they'll put blood in the baby's belly, because that can sometimes be easier to access. But if there's fluid in the baby's belly, like ascites or hydrops, then that's no longer an option, and that's can be dangerous and put more stress on the baby. So we knew that the belly is not going to be an option. We're only going to be able to put blood in the cord. I have a posterior placenta. So there's just all these kind of things working against us is how that felt. And so, but we knew we at least had to check how anemic the baby is. So we did all the preparations. I got the steroid shots. They gave me a magnesium drip because I was so early. They wanted to kind of help protect the baby's brain. You go in like you're prepping for surgery, right? And it is, I guess, in some aspects of surgery, which felt, again, very scary. And I knew all the sonographers. I knew like all the people in there, and I had heard from all the podcasts, there's a lot of people in the room. And it was so scary how many people were in the room and going like into this OR and all the lights, and it's uncomfortable, it's cold. They did let Dwayne come back with me, which was amazing because that just really helped. And I don't think they always let the partner come back for those procedures, but they let Dwayne come back. And my OB was there, and she would come in and hold my hand. So that was sweet.
So nice.
So his hematocrit was 31%, which is low, but not actually where most doctors would transfuse. Most doctors wait for it to be 30 or lower to transfuse. 31 is right on the line, and we kind of knew he's going to need blood soon. So we did give him, Dr. Trevett gave him a little bit of blood.
Because the needle's already in there, right? For
the needle's already there.
So...
The blood is already there. They've already thawed the blood and got it ready and got the cross match and all the things and having surgery, and the team's all here. And so it's like wait a day for it to drop the percentage or just give them a little bit of blood right now. So we gave him a little bit of blood to just kind of top him off. We were a little confused as to, so why did you start developing ascites if you're anemic, but not that anemic. We were a little confused by that. which felt a little unsettling to me because, again, it was like, this
Sure.
is not following the
Yeah.
plan or the path. And
Dwayne, what was like the craziest thing about being in there for the IUTs, or even just the most interesting or the scariest thing? What was that like?
It would. I mean, it definitely like felt like an honor because they like
Aw.
totally told me that like we don't let everyone do that.
Yeah.
You know, like they were like, yeah, we don't let everyone do this.
Yeah.
But they were like, you seem like you can handle it. You know.
Right.
And then yeah, it's just like it's weird. Like it's just like this weird like intense feeling because like I'm like sitting in this like full body suit and mask and and covers on my shoes, like just waiting in this random hallway. And then they bring you in, and it was just it definitely was like one of those like it just felt like intense, you know. And then on top of that, like just being like nervous and freaked out that like, okay, because they totally prepped me like, hey, if things go sideways, if we need to do an emergency delivery, like we're gonna rush you out of the room. So I just felt like I was constantly waiting for them to be like, all right, you got to step out, you know. And then I just would like be alone waiting in the hallway, you know. They're monitoring I like look up because that's where the monitor was, like, but they had like they had the monitor on on Noah's heartbeat the entire time. So then I'm like just listening, like, okay, that sounds pretty normal. And then sometimes like you know, like you wouldn't hear it for a second, and I'd be like, oh, this is it, you know. Like, so it was just like constant like pressure, it felt like, you know. Like I definitely would not want to be the one doing the surgery, you know. Like, and then on top of that too, like I couldn't not look, you know. Like they would put like the little sheet up so that like I wouldn't be like fully watching the surgery, but like I would like sometimes like sit up straight and be able to see, and you know. And it's like a pretty big needle, you know, like just going into like, I mean, it's,
oh my gosh,
I think they said it was like 11 centimeters or something
it's
like that,
huge.
which so it's like, so then I'm just watching that, you know. So
just go all the way in your body.
So that was just intense to like watch, you know. Like because it was like I couldn't not look, you know. But so I think it was just, I don't know, like freaky from kind of start to finish, you know, like but that was kind of and that's kind of how it was for like everything that we did, you know. Every like scan we did, every, you know, it just felt like we were kind of holding our breath, and then it would be like relief for a little bit, and then it would be
start building
just a
up
slow
again.
build until the next till the next scan or the next surgery or next appointment or whatever, you know. So
is for Josie's first birthday, and I had this dream for almost the entire year of we're gonna do a blood drive for her first birthday, and I had this whole vision, and you guys really helped bring the vision to life, and you were on board, wanted to be a part of the blood drive. It was really, really incredible. We had our local city center wanted to do it with us, and so it was a great space, a great venue, and then I couldn't go, and I was like, this is horrible, like this is the thing. I wanted to like just jailbreak from the hospital for just that day. Like I just want to go. You guys carried on anyways,
so
and I FaceTime.
You did such a good job planning.
Dwayne was there, and so many of your friends were there.
Yeah.
You're wearing
Dwayne.
your
It was really
shirt
great.
from it.
Can you show us your shirt,
dressed.
Kate?
Yes, I can. If I can
Can we see the
get
front
out of my
and the back?
contraption.
So that was from the blood drive.
So this is
Connor
from the
was
blood
wearing
drive.
his today, by the way.
Oh.
That shirt.
It has Josie's feet
Yeah.
on the back.
Look, and is that her
And her
date?
birthday.
Yeah, I love it. And those are her real footprints, right?
Those are her footprints.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So it was still great.
Yeah.
It just wasn't what I wanted to be there, and I missed out. But I'm glad it still turned out really well.
Yeah.
And I knew I was where I needed to be, and we were getting good care. And I was having, you know, twice daily NSTs and lots of monitoring.
Yeah.
I wasn't just sitting there. There was
Yeah.
regular ultrasounds and stuff. So it was for good reason that I was there. You asked earlier how Dwayne was able to support me, and he held us together, like in practical ways and in like just emotional, like he was definitely held us together. And then we had our last IUT on Josie's birthday, which I also was really mad about that.
Yeah.
wild.
I was like, is there any way we could possibly do it on a different day? And we couldn't. And again, it was like, well, I of course want to do what's best for our baby. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
but gosh, it couldn't have been on a different day. And a really bad
Yeah.
feeling that
Oh.
we were going to have to deliver. And then,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just was
Yeah.
not great. And we like kind of did a little birthday thing for Josie the night before her birthday, which was, I mean, they had a butterfly garden at the hospital. So it actually was really sweet. But it also was like, this is really
Yeah.
sad. Like, we're
Yeah.
celebrating, or not celebrating, I don't know what word to use. We're
Yeah.
honoring her birthday at the hospital, and I'm having fetal surgery tomorrow. Like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of just feelings and nowhere to put them, really.
Yeah.
So that was hard. But the IUT went really well. It went great. There were no complications. And it was kind of like, oh my gosh, we're done.
Wow.
Yes.
Like, we've done
my
everything.
goodness.
Yeah.
Now it's time for delivery. Well, actually, I
Yeah.
had to get my port taken out. And then it was time for delivery.
Yeah.
It's like, finally, we're here. Like, all of this stuff we've gone through, all of this buildup, I never actually thought we'd get to this point. Of
Right.
Like, I was at 36 weeks. So the way the IUTs lined up, we had to deliver at 36 weeks
Yeah.
because we couldn't stretch it further, and it didn't make sense to do another IUT. So not quite full term, but really close. And 36 weeks felt really great compared to 26 weeks when we were having our first IUT.
Right.
And so that was kind of like, all right, here we are, this is it.
Yeah.
And I had I had a lot of fear having a induced hospital birth, which was so different from my initial dreams of having a home birth with
Right.
no intervention. And wow, what a difference we had.
Right.
But delivery actually went really, really smooth. It was
Yeah.
great. We got immediate skin to skin time, and there was a little mix up with the blood work because I was going from inpatient to labor delivery to, like, they just switched me. So I had 2 patient ID numbers,
Yeah.
which mixed the blood up. So his
Oh,
cord blood
gosh.
got lost. But,
That's right.
well, I'm skipping over though. Noah was born.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was born. It was great.
Wait, just give us a quick, like, 2 or 3 minute rundown.
Okay. So we did induction, right? And it was a lot of nothing. For 24 hours, nothing was happening. I was so mad. And it was a total mental game. I was like, like, I had Braxton Hicks stronger than this. Like, nothing is
Yeah.
happening. And I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. And, like, how long are we going to do this? Like, I'm tired now
Yeah.
because I've been up for 24 hours and nothing's happening. I'm just frustrated. And so my OB did a cervical check just to see, what our game plan would be, if do we want to do more intervention or not, because she was letting me kind of go low and slow
Yeah.
and just kind of let my body do its thing. My water ended up breaking during that cervical check, and things kind of
That
picked
get
up, but it
going?
yeah, it kind of picked up after that. But it still was like, nothing's like, I did not feel any pain. I'm not kidding. I was not in any pain. It was like,
Wow.
this is like, is it even happening?
Yeah.
Is kind of how it felt. Like, I don't think nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And then I was laying on the floor, like on a yoga mat. Like, I was just laying on a yoga mat. That just felt right. And I stood up and his head popped out. And it was like, what?
I cannot.
like nothing.
Oh my
like,
God.
I'm not even in labor. Like, how
He
can
had to
his head
give
be
you
out?
something fairly easy. Like, give
Yeah,
you
I
something.
know.
True. You
That
deserved
was
that,
my-
Kate.
Just one
Yep.
gentle entry, please.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
I was like, I did my time.
Yeah.
Yes,
I did my pain and
absolutely.
suffering in pregnancy.
Yeah.
And I got to skip all of labor. Like, I don't know how it happened. Like, I stood up, there he was. And a nurse
Wow.
delivered. It was her first time ever catching a baby. It was awesome. It's a little chaotic after, because then everybody's running in. They have no idea what's happening. They're like, wait, is this the baby that needs the NICU? Like, what's happening? And where's the
Yeah.
doctor? Who's the OB? So it's a little crazy. But I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
It was like, he's here and surprise. Like,
You were in control. You were the one
Yeah.
that time in control. Yeah.
yeah,
I love
it was
that.
great. It was, yeah, it was really awesome. But his blood work didn't get mixed up. And so there was a little bit of frustration with that. They did do a heel prick pretty shortly after his cord bled. So they had both in his heel prick came back and his bilirubin was high, showing he needed to be under lights now.
Yeah.
And I could see his nose kind of turning yellow.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, we need to wait for his cord blood to be back. And I was like, what? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
The heel prick is more recent.
Yeah.
Why do you need the cord blood?
Yeah.
He literally needs like lights right now. He's
Right.
over the threshold. And I was going back and forth with, I don't know who she was, just somebody that was there. I was going back and forth with her. Like, and that was the only point that I got really scared and really sad, because I was like, I know what he needs. I know what needs to happen right now. And the only thing that's standing between life and death for my baby is whether or not I can convince this person who has no idea what's happening to listen to me.
Right.
And that was really, really scary. But I'm so grateful. I just texted Dr. Trevett. I was like, this is his bilirubin. He's like, I'm on it. And literally within
Oh my goodness.
a minute or two, the phone rings in our room. And that same person, she was like, all right, so he'll be a direct admit to NICU.
Oh my gosh.
And
Okay.
I was
Oh man.
I was just relieved. I was like, thank
Yeah.
God, like
Yeah.
he's gonna get the help. And it kind of clicked, like, oh, that means he's going to NICU. Like, we're gonna be separated. And I can't go with him. Like, they have to get me to a room. I mean, I think I was just so relieved, though, that finally they were listening. They were getting him the treatment he needed, that I didn't even care that we were going to be separated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dwayne was going to go with him, and I was like, cool, he's going to get
Right.
what he needs, and I'll go see him in like 30 minutes or
Yeah.
however long until they get me in my room. So,
What did it feel like to just hold him? And he was so healthy. He looked so good.
he did. It was amazing. When he opened his eyes and looked at me, that messed me up, because we didn't get to see Josie's eyes,
Yeah.
and that was always really, really sad to me. And so when he looked at me, it was like, you're here, like, and you're alive. Like,
Those
Yeah,
pictures
it
are
was
so
really
beautiful.
great.
The sun is streaming in through the window.
the pictures are really beautiful.
Dwayne, what
Yeah,
about
it was so good.
Yeah, what about you when your
I could
son
tell you were
is just
thinking
looking
back to
around?
it.
Well, it like took him a second to cry.
Yeah.
Well, and it was just already, it was like Kate talked about, it was just so weird because it happened so fast. Like literally 20 minutes before he was out, like I was like contemplating, like, do I take a nap now? Like I might have to be up late. Like this might be like a whole ordeal. Like it's already, I mean, it was already like afternoon. I was like, it's going to be a late night. And then like 20 minutes later,
Wow.
he was there. And then I just was like waiting for him to like cry or like breathe for a second. Cause like he just kind of
Yeah.
popped out.
Yeah.
And then it was like a few seconds, and then I was like definitely like, yeah, I mean it was a big relief like once he started crying, and yeah, I don't know. I mean it was just, I think a lot of relief and then a lot of excitement, and then you know, I think too just like all right, like we're kind of here now, you know, like I guess like the reality setting in, you know, of
Yeah.
like okay, he's here, and you know, kind of all everything we've kind of worked for,
Yeah.
you know, this entire pregnancy is like, this is kind of the end result, you know. And too, like it is just always like bittersweet, like Kate talked about a little bit,
Yeah.
like, you know, because like we got time with Josie, and like, you know, we held Josie, and but then, you know, it's like, so it's like just that where it's like, okay, I'm excited and I'm relieved that he's here. But then there's always that kind of thought in the back of my mind of like, man, like I wish we would have gotten to do this with Josie. You know, I wish I would have seen her or heard her cry or heard, you know what I mean? Just all of that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, I mean, just a lot, you know, kind of going through, at least I was going through like my mind and my thoughts and my feelings, you know.
Yeah, it's very heavy.
Yeah. And I think just my fear too, like I'd feel like I just would like watch him breathe, you know, constantly.
Yeah.
Cause I just had this like
Right.
overwhelming feeling like, okay, like
Yeah.
is he just going to stop at some point, you know, or is like, is
Yes.
something going to be wrong, you know, or, you know, it definitely felt like this impending doom sometimes, you know,
Yeah, sure.
like,
What was his NICU stay like? What did he end up needing?
So he got IVIG at 12 hours old, and he needed, you know, all of the phototherapy lights and triple lights for his hyperbilirubinemia. he had lights for 5 days, 6 days. He had lights for 6 days. And it was this constant, like, he'd kind of get a little bit better. And so we tried taking a light away. And then his Billy would rebound, so we put the light back. And it's kind of, are we going to go home tomorrow? Or are we going to go home in 3 weeks? We don't know. Like, how it felt like every day was, like, such a marathon. But his Billy did slowly get better. He really struggled with eating. He didn't want to nurse, and he didn't want to take a bottle, so he was tube fed a lot. And we would try every single time. Every opportunity would try to nurse and try to bottle feed, and then eventually do the tube feed. And he had eventually figured it out. And I think once the bilirubin was under control, he had more energy and was able to eat. So then once he was eating on his own without the tube feed, then we were looking at going home, and then he got an eye infection. Totally random.
Oh, man.
And so he had an eye infection.
Awesome.
So we had to stay another like day or two. And then, but it kind of worked out because instead of being discharged on the weekend, we got to be discharged on a Monday. And actually it was Dwayne's birthday that we were discharged.
Oh my goodness.
That's
But because it was Monday, all of Dr. Trevett and his whole team that
they were there.
worked with us his whole pregnancy, they were there. And they did this little kind of celebratory walkout as we left. And so, but yeah, the NICU was really hard. It was that I think of everything we went through, that was the hardest part for me. Because we had no sleep and couldn't hold him, and kind of you see some of the other babies in the NICU, and sometimes that can be kind of, we just saw a lot go on while we were there, and that was really hard. And there were a couple points where I had a little back and forth with the neonatologist, disagreeing about the best method of treatment for him. And again, trying to politely advocate without overstepping, but also being firm. I mean, it's just, advocating is hard. Even knowing all of the information, knowing I am for sure right, and I know this because I've read all the studies. Like, that helps being informed, but it is still really hard. And it's, I just don't, because I also am like, I'm really grateful you're also taking care of my kid and wanting him to do well, and you care about him, and otherwise have a lot of experience and doing great in these other areas. It's just one or two things we kind of have different opinions on, that we had some back and forth. But I'm excited for these guidelines that are, can I say that? I'm excited for these guidelines that are going to come out, because now that just hopefully will be a non-issue with at least the issues we had. We had some back and forth with iron and some of the different treatments. So but yeah, I mean, as a whole, it was a really, really hard experience, but it was, he ultimately, he did great, and he got the care he needed, and he was discharged, and his hemoglobin was actually really good. He didn't need a blood transfusion in the NICU. We were there for 2 weeks. And we left the hospital, and I got to like see the sun and leave the hospital and go home with the living baby.
To your new house.
To my new house I had never been to, except when we bought it.
Wow.
And yeah, it was really great getting to go home with him. And it was this moment that like I had seen for my entire pregnancy. So many women get to go home with their babies, and it was like just a gut punch every time. And that also, that exit is like the one place where there's like a little fountain that like I could go on a wheelchair ride when I was inpatient. Like, that's where we'd go. So I just saw so many women get to go home with their babies, and would feel so jealous and so sad every single time. And then finally it was like, here we are, we get to do it. Like, it's my turn. And so Noah's doing great. And we had our little goodbye celebration with all of we all were crying. Everybody was crying, all the sonographers, and it was great. Everybody else was just kind of like looking like, what's happening?
What is this?
We're like, this is a big moment. Like, this is, so much is leading up to this. And
Wow.
I had my hands on his belly the whole time home. Like, is he breathing?
Oh my goodness.
In the car ride. So.
And now he's one.
How is he now?
Yeah. So he needed 3 top-up transfusions on an outpatient basis. That was a lot less eventful, although it still was pretty eventful. It was, never fun watching him get poked, and never fun watching him have to have an IV. But the transfusions themselves were pretty uneventful. So he had 3, and then his hemoglobin started going up on its own around 3 to 4 months. We got the second reading of the increase, but we weren't officially discharged from hematology until 7 months. So
7 months.
they kind of strung us along. There were some other things they wanted to keep an eye on. So but then once that we got discharged, like officially discharged, like this is totally done.
my
It was like we need to
gosh.
celebrate, and
Oh, so good.
Oh my gosh.
we took him to the aquarium. It was great.
Oh, I love it.
There's a great aquarium in Atlanta with that big whale
Oh,
shark.
it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, if you have a chance to go, you should.
Molly, you
absolutely
always
go.
talk
it's
about that
fine.
whale shark.
Well, my kids are really excited about it, and it takes like about 2 hours to get there through the
Oh, yeah.
traffic, so it's like real hard earned. And now, Kate, I just want to talk about your influence in this group of women now, because you are individually counseling almost every single mom who posts on our support group and sending them all the resources that you leaned on, and now you're that person for them. So
Yeah.
we are so thankful and appreciative. But also, how does it feel for you to be in that place, to be on this side, being
Yeah.
that person?
Yeah, it's definitely a full circle moment. So is we received, this is a little different, but it kind of ties together. Noah received some donor breast milk in the NICU, and I had donated breast
Yeah.
milk after Josie died. And so that was another full circle moment where we've just started having all these full circle moments where it's like, oh, here, now I'm the one
Yeah.
receiving the breast milk, and that's so cool. And now I'm the one getting to be what you guys were for me for the next mom. And it's so cool I have found a lot of healing for myself in this, and being active in the support group is a lot of how I learned about how to advocate for the right care, what the right care was, and then I slowly became more confident in that and was able to get a little more involved in giving back, and getting to go to the guidelines conference with you guys was incredible.
Amazing.
It was
Oh my
that was a life-changing experience. It really was so
Same.
cool.
Was.
And it was kind of like a pinch me moment, like how a
Right?
year ago I had no idea what this word even was, and now I'm at this
wow.
conference. Like
You zoomed through. I think it took me 10 years to kind of get where you got in 1 year with all of this.
well, I couldn't have done it without all of the foundational
It's
work you have
amazing.
laid. So
Oh my goodness. And
it's so
can I just say I got to open the guidelines conference with Noah in my arms.
yeah.
And just
You also
so
got to meet him
amazing.
on his birthday. You happened to be in Atlanta.
Oh, I
and got to
did.
come
I
meet
came-
him,
yes.
like an hour after he was born.
oh
It was
my
awesome.
gosh. Just the best. The best feeling.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's so great. It's such a privilege because I know how desperate I was for answers and support, and somebody to have any idea what I was facing, and to just know and have some, like, I don't know, I think there's just a lot of hope, and like there's tangible direction that we can,
Right.
like, that's very empowering. Like, we have a lot that we actually can do to help our circumstances, and that feels so empowering when you are informed of that, and when you have people ready to like help you do what it takes. And so I know how much that like truly has not just helped us get Noah here alive, but it really minimized, I think, a lot of the I don't know, emotional trauma that could have kind of come with that process, everything we went through. I think it would have been a lot worse if we didn't have you guys with us walking through every step of the way, and having you and other moms in our corner who have been in similar shoes. And so it really is an honor to be able to then be that for somebody else, and it's very healing for me. And so it probably helps me more than it helps other moms. Honestly,
I don't know
So,
about that.
I don't
You
know
have
about that.
you are amazing.
But that is
And-
how you know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Is that it's healing you and you're helping others. That's
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we need something from Dwayne about being a dad. I want to hear about being a dad to a boy with white blonde hair. And is he walking now, Dwayne?
Yeah. So he's walking now.
Oh my goodness.
Now we just got to get a golf club in his hand.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
That's right.
That's like my biggest not my biggest, but like one of my big look forwards to is
Yeah.
Yeah.
when he's old enough for us to get out on the golf course and
I feel like he
Just
could
hang
do
out.
some destruction with a golf club.
him.
Yeah. If you gave
Oh,
him one
yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
You're like,
yeah.
Herbie?
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, no, yeah.
that's
I mean,
sweet.
it's been awesome. yeah, I don't know. I mean, just getting to do everything, just kind of getting to do everything together, you know?
Yeah.
He gets so excited every time we like either one of us come walking through the door.
Yeah.
Like whether, you know, like if Kate goes
Yes.
to the gym and comes back, or if I, you
Yeah.
know, I'm at work and come home, like he gets excited every time and loves dancing. And we have like,
Loves dancing.
it's like, yeah, we'll put on different music.
So cute.
His taste in music is pretty good, which
Yeah.
What's he into?
That's so
I
funny.
personally
Yes.
give myself props for that.
You've
He
curated
loves-
his taste in music.
Yeah, he loves Bob Marley. He loves Dave Matthews Band.
I
He
feel like
also
those fit him. That's
loves,
so Noah.
what's that band's name? They sing Hook and they sing Run Around.
Blues.
Blues
Yes.
Traveler. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't
Yes.
think. So he loves Blues
I
Travelers.
love that.
Wow.
What a cool guy.
Yeah.
He
He's
is so cool.
Yeah. So
He is.
he loves 80s music too. So
Oh my gosh.
He likes any music. He just likes to dance.
Yeah.
Even if you just like tap your hands, he'll
Yeah.
dance to it.
Oh, that's
loves
so
it.
cool.
So, but yeah, we're I mean, I don't know the words to put on it, but it's awesome.
Yeah. Amazing.
Aw, that's awesome.
Getting to
just
travel
need to
with
do it
him.
again.
He's traveled a lot in his first year in life. So
Oh my gosh, he's done so much.
yeah,
Like
he's been more places
He
than I
has.
went my first like 18 years.
I
Alive.
know.
20
It was
years
yeah,
alive.
it was kind of like we didn't do anything for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then we had to make up for lost time. So
I love it.
we
I love
went
it.
everywhere. It felt like,
so good.
but
Oh, well, we're so glad that you guys came here and shared your story with all of us. And
thank you so much for having
Yeah.
us. This truly is like a privilege to be. I mean, I know I just listened to the podcast clinging on to like every word, and
Right.
just every single episode meant so much to me. And so it's another full circle moment to
Yes.
get to be here and be the one, you know, coming through the screen or coming through your car speakers.
Yeah.
And it's just really special to get to be on this side of things.
Well, know that there are other women who are going to be hanging on your words, your
Yes.
tips, your experience. And that's what it's all about. So thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having us.
We got to
All
wrap
right.
up.
Who's
Who's going to say it?
Whether you are a patient, provider, or otherwise affected by antibodies in pregnancy, we are here for you. We have great resources on our website at allohopefoundation.org. That's allo spelled ALLO, hopefoundation.org.
Thanks for listening.
Nice.
I love it.
Oh,
Oh, my
so
gosh.
good.
Oh, I just feel so close to Josie right now.
The Allo podcast is offered by the Allo Hope Foundation, a nonprofit organization. This means that our ability to continue this work depends on corporate sponsorships, small research grants, and donations. While sponsorships and grants are vital, they're often restricted to specific activities, and they do not cover the everyday work that keeps our mission moving. Things like creating educational materials, writing grant applications, running our social media, and especially managing our rapidly growing patient support group where we counsel women every day. They also do not cover the direct support we provide to families who cannot access life-saving care, whether that's the cost of an antibody screen in Kenya or bus fare for a mom in the US who needs to travel for an intrauterine transfusion. If you've ever wondered whether a donation of any size makes an impact, it truly does. Please visit our show notes for information on how to donate to AHF or to become a recurring donor. Your support gives our small organization the stability we need to continue this work and ensure no family faces HDFN alone.
Oh, you missed all of the AC/DC. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you missed Molly singing.
Yeah.
Although I do think on our last recording we got Molly singing.
Really?
I think so.
What was it?
I also
I don't
did
remember,
that.
but I know it was a little uncomfortable.
For you? For who? I guess
No,
for you
just
guys.
like-
I was uncomfortable thinking about how embarrassed Molly should have felt, but she...
Yeah, but Molly was confident, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't remember what.
I did
what
it our last
was.
recording too. Like our vibe. Was,
You,
like,
you were
really-
trying to sing the intro theme song.
Oh, yeah.
While
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
Bethany was trying
Fumbling.
to do that.
I don't know.